What's up YouTube, JabberTech, and today we're going to take a look at the Huawei Watch 2 Classic Edition, and I'm going to let you know what my thoughts are after about a month of using this watch, and letting you know if I think it's something that you should pick up or not. Maybe you're interested in this as well, and I hope my review helps you, so let's get right into it. First things first, it does fit under a sleeve without any problem. It's not super thick, so it does not stick out from your sleeve like the LG Watch Sport does. It is a nice slimmer type profile. I'm not going to call this slim, but it's definitely on the slimmer side. So the Huawei Watch 2 Classic Edition will run you about $300. There is a Sport Edition, which has a completely different design, and that'll run you about $180 these days. But let me go over the specs really quickly, and then we can get into the review. It does have the Snapdragon 2100 processor in it, has 4 gigabytes of internal storage, 768 megabytes of RAM, and it also has a 420 milliamp hour battery, not to mention your usual sensors. So you do have the heart rate monitor on the back. You also have NFC for payments, and then you have your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS also built into this watch. It does come in either a brown edition or black edition, and that's just the watch band. The actual titanium watch will be the same. It just will ship with a different style band. And this band that it comes with is a hybrid style. So on the back, you do see that you do have that silicone material, but on the front, you do have genuine leather. And I think that's a really nice design. This way, all those sweat marks and those nasty stains that come from wearing a leather band after a while will not appear on this. And it is pretty comfortable, really nice to wear. It also has these quick release pins, so you can swap these out for any 22 millimeter style band that you like. And then on the actual buckle there, you do see that it says Huawei, so that's really nice. Definitely those little things make you think premium when you're looking at a smartwatch such as this one. But I opted to switch it out for a black band, which I think looks really nice and complements the watch very well. So that's what I decided to do. But the great thing about this watch is it does use standard 22 millimeter lugs, so you can swap these out for just about any band that you want. And looking at the overall design of the watch, I do think that it's very reminiscent of the LG Watch R, which also debuted with these markings on the outside. And at first I thought it was a little cheesy, but it really doesn't bother me. You just have to decide which watch face you'd like to use, because some watch faces have these markings built in and you don't want to use that one. That kind of looks stupid. But on the left side, you have this Huawei branding, which I also think is kind of dumb. It's very cheesy looking, and this is plastic, whereas the rest of the watch is metal, so I don't know why they decided to do that. It would have been nicer maybe if they just etched Huawei on the side, if they really had to put their branding on it. But this also could be for the sensors. I really don't know. And then looking on the right side of the watch, you do have these two programmable buttons that I will get into a bit later on. But overall, I think the watch is pretty stylish. And the screen is a 1.2 inch AMOLED panel, so it is a little on the smaller side, which is what turned me off from this watch in the beginning. But I actually got used to it, and I don't think you need something much bigger, because battery life is dependent upon the size of the screen. So battery life on this has been really good. I'm talking about Android Wear statistics, not about any other statistics you might have. So far, the best smartwatch that I've encountered is the Gear S3 running Tizen software. That's definitely great, but this one definitely comes really close to that, and I am able to get this to last 2 days for me with light usage, sometimes a little more. With medium to heavy usage, I get about a day and a half, and with super heavy usage, I get a full day. And when I say full day, that's from rise till pass out time. So for me, my battery life has been excellent. Again, if you have tons of Facebook notifications and whatnot, and you choose to have those come to your watch, your battery life will vary. But for the average consumer, this definitely will last you, I have no doubt in my mind, at least a day and a half. And just to mention how much I really think battery life is great, I just went away for the weekend and I completely forgot my charger. But I did not worry because I said, you know what, my Huawei Watch will make it through the day. And leaving Friday, I came back on Monday morning and I had 20% juice left. So I definitely was not worried when I forgot my charger. With another smartwatch, I probably would have said, you know what, I'm only going to get a day with this, so let me use it sparingly and turn it off. But the Huawei Watch definitely got me through the weekend without any problems. Speaking of battery life, another great feature of this watch is it has a watch only mode. So that also made me think, you know what, I don't have to worry about my charger. Worst case scenario, I can just turn on watch only mode and make it through the whole month if I need to. So to get to watch only mode, and it is what it sounds like, it will turn your watch into a watch. So what I mean by that, it turns off all smart features and basically gives you the time and your pedometer. So your steps will still be counted in this mode, which I think is great. So that 66% at 10 hours is only because I keep using the watch and the screen is on, so it's taking that into account. But if I turn on watch mode, it's saying I will have 16.1 days left with the same 66%. And I'm going to turn it on for you guys just so you can see it. And that's what it'll look like. You'll have your time and your steps on the bottom there. All other features will be disabled, so you will not get phone calls, messages, alerts, etc., etc. And the screen will go blank. There is no always on mode in this watch mode. So to turn it on, you have to press the button there and it will show you your time. But I think this is great for exactly what just happened to me this weekend. If I went away and forgot my charger, I really wouldn't be too concerned. Yes, I would not get all my notifications or whatnot, but at least I would know the time and my steps would be counted for that day if that's something that you're really into. So while this is booting up, I do want to mention that this watch does not have wireless charging. And at this price point, I think that's a bad move on Huawei's point. I think that they really should have included wireless charging. That's what mostly everyone's doing. And that's kind of what we expect at this price range and for the times. But instead, they do offer this pogo style connection, and it's basically the same as what was in their other watch. But the magnet is definitely stronger, and it does have these guides on the side to ensure that your watch will not slip out while it's charging. And the magnet is pretty strong. I'm shaking it, and it's not coming loose. And I have not had a problem with this watch not charging overnight. And that's the problem I had with the original one. I'd wake up the next morning just to find out that the pins weren't properly aligned, and I had to recharge my watch. Charging time has definitely been fast. It's not a quick charge style, but I have been able to charge it for about an hour and get just about all my juice. So while this one is due to get Android Oreo on the watch, it has not yet. I just received an update 2.0 yesterday that basically changed all my notification screens to black. So with AMOLED panels, black screens do not take up any power. So I expect to get even better battery life from this watch, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think that was a long overdue feature, and not all Android Wear watches did get this update, so make sure to check if you do have an update and let me know if your watch got it or not. But Android Oreo should be hitting this watch probably in the next month, but I'm not too concerned with updates really. When it gets it, because this watch has definitely been performing really well, and it can only get better. But what really sold me on this watch, and it's not its stunning good looks, because that is a little controversial, but I think it does look pretty good. While I wish they did keep the classier look of the original Huawei watch, they didn't, and that's nothing I can do. I'm not in their design department, but I do like it. I think it's a great design, and I do like the ability to change the overall look just by swapping out these bands. So if you want to go classier, you can put on a leather band, and if you want to go more stylish, you can put on this black band, and it really only takes about a minute to swap out these bands with these quick release pins. So swapping out a band to suit your mood is as easy as 1, 2, 3. And they really wanted to hit as many people as they can, because a lot of people do say smartwatches are on their way out. I happen to think that's not the case. I happen to think that they charge way too much for these, and that's why adoption has been slow. But now that you have people like Michael Kors and all these other fashion designers or Fossil making watches at cheaper price points, I think they will sell a lot more of them. But Huawei tried to hit everybody at once. They have this classic design, they have the sport design for people who are more fitness focused, but whether you get the classic or the sport, you're getting the same internal software. And this internal software has been great. So let me show you the built-in health app that Huawei has. And it shows you a lot more information than any Android Wear watch I've had. And please let me know in the comments below if you have an Android Wear watch that does show you as much as this. This will show you a nice little half circle graph of your daily activity and your weekly graph. So I've walked 5,100 steps today, been active for 28 minutes, stood up 9 times, burned 250 calories, went 2.5 miles, I climbed 264 feet, and my average heart rate was about 49. And while we're on fitness, I also picked this up. So while Android Oreo did introduce this feature, it was on the Huawei Watch first, which was continuous heart rate. So as you saw in that graph a little while ago, it does monitor your heart rate on a continual basis, and that is really a great feature. Now it's in Android Oreo, so most of your watches that are getting updated will also have the same functionality, but it was on the Huawei Watch first, and that's a plus for them. I like that it measures my altitude. Again, I'm kind of a nerd, so I definitely appreciate more stats on a watch. Although I really wish it would have shown you how many flights of steps you've climbed. Seeing this 264 feet is kind of cool. And if you scroll down, you'll see your percentages. So I hit about 83% of my walking goal, 0% of my activity goal, and 17% of my climbing goal. And of course, all of these are programmable, so you can change them to whatever you like. And it shows you your last 7 days. So I was most active on the 26th. And today I've been moderate to high intensity. And the last 7 days, you can see that it's been about the same. Shows you the graph of how many times you stood up, and as well as the last 7 days. Your heart rate, it gives you a nice little graph there in the last 6 hours, how it's been. And then it'll show you your highest heart rate versus your lowest heart rate. And then also, if you do work out with this watch, which I will be getting into in a minute, it'll show you how many minutes you are at your extreme rate, anaerobic, aerobic, fat burning, and warm up. So a little hint, this watch is using the same software that your triathlon Garmin Phoenix and your Polar watches use. So Huawei licensed that software from the same company that gives it to Polar and Garmin. So this will show you your VO2 max, which I've never seen on an Android Wear watch. And it will also show you your cadence. And unfortunately, we're in the dead of winter, so I have not been outside running, but make sure to subscribe because once it gets warmer, I am going to put that to the test with running, biking, and whatnot. So we're going to see how this one really compares. But this is the main selling point for me, and why I got this watch was for this extra health software. So while it might not show it right now, I'm really excited to work out with this watch, and I have taken it to the gym for weight training. Because of its smaller size, it was really easy and comfortable to wear on the wrist while working out, and I haven't had any problems with it, so I definitely enjoyed wearing a smaller watch on my wrist while working out. These 2 buttons on the side here are programmable, so you can set them up to activate anything you want. I have this top one set up to activate the Google Assistant, and then I have the bottom one here that activates my training. But you can program those 2 buttons to whatever you like. In the past, I've had one activate Android Pay, and Android Pay on this watch has worked without a flaw, as you'd imagine, but you can set those up for whatever you want, so it doesn't have to be what I set it up to. You can change it to whatever you like. Phone quality was really good with the built-in speaker, and you can kind of see it right there on the side. Speaker was nice and loud in quiet environments. Of course, if you're in a loud environment, it will not be the best, but that's also the case with a smartphone. In loud environments, it's kind of hard to hear somebody, but in quieter environments, the calls were really nice. People really couldn't tell I was using a smartwatch or on Bluetooth. So in the car or while at home, and while your phone is on the table, this really came in handy and I really enjoy it. Other things to mention is the usual IP68 water and dust resistant. So you can get this wet. They do not recommend that you swim with it, but if you're doing dishes, washing your hands, or if you just jump in the pool, not necessarily swimming, you should be just fine with this. Now that we went over all the features of the watch and the actual design, which you either love it or you hate it, The overall quality of the watch, it is definitely a lighter smartwatch. And while I'm happy it's lighter, for some reason, for $300, I kind of wanted this to feel a little heavier on my wrist, but then I'd probably be complaining that it was too heavy. So there was no fatigue while wearing this. It definitely was very nice and comfortable, but again, it just feels kind of light, and I guess that's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you want something that feels a little more premium, and premium to a lot of people means heavy. Just like smartphones, you want a heavier smartphone to think that it's better built, but we all know with technology that's really not the case. So now that I'm talking about it, I do like that this watch is lighter. I've definitely got a lot of compliments with this watch, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this something that you want to pick up? Is this something that you're interested in? Do you have any other questions for me? I'd be happy to answer them in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe because I will have more about this Huawei Watch 2, as well as other things related to tech coming up in the near future. So thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.